You're now listening to the Pitchside Peregrines podcast, your home for all things Athletic Club Boise.
All right, everybody. Before we get into today's episode, quick shout out to KJO Insurance, the first sponsor of the Pitchside Peregrines podcast. Look, insurance premiums suck, but your coverage doesn't have to. They know Idaho and the Pacific Northwest, and they'll actually find you a deal that makes sense. DM them on Instagram at KJO Insurance with Pitchside, or call 208-883-4800 and tell them Kyle and Elias sent you. All right, let's talk some AC Boise. Okay, welcome everybody to a special episode of the Pitchside Peregrines podcast. I want to break out the Christmas Carol. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Welcome to the Premier League season. It is wonderful. I love, obviously, now being an AC Boise fan. Obviously, that is the most wonderful time of the year, but a close second is the Premier League. I love the Premier League, and this is going to be an amazing season because both Everton and Leeds are going to finish in the top half of the table. It's happening.
Disagree.
Oh, you're a bastard.
Okay. Yeah, really excited. Obviously, Kyle and I, before AC Boise was ever a thing, the Premier League was our one true love, or in my case, the Sky Bet Championship was my true love. And as this league does incorporate promotion relegation, I guess before we dive into our full table predictions, just for any fan who is out there who is a fan of AC Boise or a fan of us who doesn't watch the Premier League, it is a 20-team league where the bottom 3 teams get relegated and 3 teams from the league below, which is the championship. Don't ask me why it's called the championship and it's the second tier of English football. They come up and join the Premier League for the season to come. There are other competitions where you finish in the top 6, 7, 8 teams. You get to join other competitions across Europe. Let's put that to the side. The big thing is the bottom 3 teams in the Premier League go down. The winner of the Premier League, there's no playoffs. It's just the team who has the most points at the end of the year wins the Premier League. What's it called? What's the trophy called?
In the Premier League?
Yeah, just for winning the Premier League.
Just a Premier League trophy.
Boom.
Yeah.
Love that.
You just win it.
There's teams all over England. No Welsh teams in the top flight, but there are teams.
No, there are no Welsh teams. There are no Scottish teams that are in the Premier League or in the English football system, but there are a number of Welsh teams that include
Cardiff,
Swansea, and Newport County, I believe.
Of course. Lovely.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, there's a lot of teams in London specifically. I want to say there's 14 teams in the 4 tiers of English soccer within just the city of London, with quite a few of them residing in the Premier League. So that being said, I guess just a little look into this. We're going to kind of jump maybe in pockets of 5, just since there's 20 teams. We can just kind of have 4 groups of bottom of the table, maybe relegation battles.
Yeah, I feel like we can do like these guys are being relegated for sure.
Yeah.
And then,
middle of the table doesn't really matter in the Premier League. You're safe, but you're not fighting for additional competitions. And then you kind of have the 10 through 5, which is people fighting for these external Europa Conference League, European Conference League, Champions League, so on and so forth. And then your top 5 are teams fighting for the victory. So all that to be said, let's jump right into it, Kyle. Who do you have? Who are your 3 relegated teams? Let's start with that.
This brings me great sadness to say that my 3 relegated teams are the 3 teams that are coming up. It is 3 up and 3 down, those being Hull City. They're crap. There's no if and ands or buts about it. They are terrible. They are going to, I think, rival Derby County, who had set the record
points,
for the least
Wolves
amount of points
for the first half of last year.
They are terrible.
Yeah.
They are going to be really, really bad. No shade against Joe Gelhardt, the guy that they signed from Leeds. They're really, really bad. They did not deserve to get. I mean, based on advanced analytics, they were the second worst team based on expected goals versus expected goals against in the entire championship. Second worst.
Hey,
And they got promoted. They made
and
it.
they're
They were the
here.
last team into the playoffs. Oh, they're terrible. So they're going to get crushed. They're not going to have fun. So, and then my 18th place team, or the 19th place team, I do have Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town, they were up not too long ago, I think 2 seasons ago, and they are back. So good for them. They're helped by, if you're not familiar, teams that get relegated get what's called parachute payments. It's because a lot of those teams obviously sign players for a lot of money that they didn't have before. And so if you when you get relegated and you have to not get that money, it essentially will just annihilate your entire budget. So they have parachute payments that the Premier League will kind of help give you on your way back down, so you don't lose all of your money. So Ipswich kind of took advantage of that. I love their nickname. They're called the Tractor Boys. So that might be the best nickname in soccer, or at least in the Premier League. So yeah, the Tractor Boys, I have them in 19th. Haven't really done anything in the transfer market. Hull has signed a bunch of mediocre players. Ipswich have signed like very few mediocre players and not any good ones. So they're gonna have a hard time. And then my 17th, or 18th, excuse me, I'm so bad at that. My 18th will be Coventry City. Coventry City are a fun team in that they haven't been in the Premier League in like 20 years, I want to say. At least they even just got back to their old stadium because they didn't have the finances to like buy their own stadium, or at least own the stadium that they had been playing in. And so they just recently got in their stadium, their historical one. So it's a cool city. They're managed by Frank Lampard, who's obviously a huge legend of the game, and they have signed, just like the other two guys that have come up. They have signed no one of yeah, they're gonna have a hard time. Let's just put it that way. There is an American. They do have an American, um, which is always fun. And so that we have someone to kind of root for, that's Haji Wright, who was on the national team during the World Cup. Elias, who are your bottom three? I have a feeling we have the same.
We don't actually.
Ooh.
We have 19 and 20 correct. Hull City and Ipswich.
Oh, you have Coventry
Um,
staying?
Coventry is 17 for me. 18, I have Fulham. I don't know what it
Oh, I
is.
like it. I
Um,
like it.
I
I
think
like it.
Fulham is one of those teams where
Anthony Robinson, no.
they could finish like top 10 and it wouldn't be a
Dude,
surprise,
yeah.
but they could also finish in 18th. They haven't, I mean, they've signed a lot of young players from Real Madrid in Gonzalo Garcia for 40 million pounds and
Mm-hmm.
Cesar Palacios, correct me if I'm wrong, 10 million
Yeah,
pounds.
no, you got it.
They also had purchased Shea Charles from Southampton,
Mm.
who is a player that a young midfielder who Leeds was also scouting. So they spent a lot. They haven't. They also bought Oscar Bob from Man City.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So and Kevin as well. Well, Kevin was
Yeah, Kevin
last
was
year.
last year. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Kevin is probably going to be their star. Definitely up and coming talent. But they did lose their probably two biggest players from their last year's campaign in Harry Wilson to Leeds and
Mm-hmm.
Raul Jimenez, going back to his original, I guess, English club in the Wolverhampton Wolves, or Wolverhampton Wanderers, excuse me. They've also lost Adama Traore, a bunch of other names
Mm.
that are maybe players who did good for them in this last season. So
Yeah. I
I
like
have
it. It's a
them.
bold pick. I like it.
I think
I
it'll come
like
down to
bold
the
picks.
last day. If I'm being honest, I think it's going to be a fight. But I think after last year's promoted teams kind of righted the wrong, where Sunderland and Leeds both stayed up after what was that 3 seasons of
Mm-hmm.
consistently three up, three down.
Yep.
Uh, I think teams are slowly understanding what works and what doesn't work and trying to stay promoted. And Coventry was by far, in a way, the best team in the championship last season, finishing with 95 points, with Ipswich in second at 84. Crazy to me that Millwall almost got automatically promoted last season, but they didn't. They wanted to have the London Derby with West Ham this season. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Fulham, Ipswich, Hull City. It's
I
crazy to me how
like
much
it.
these promoted teams are spending. I guess specifically Ipswich and Coventry. Both
Yeah,
are,
it's
I want
pretty
to say,
wild.
besides your big four in, uh, I guess, Chelsea, Tottenham, Newcastle, because they're owned by the Middle East, and Manchester City. You have Ipswich Town spending over 180 million pounds. You have Coventry at 150 million. Hull again, kind of just admitting defeat and using this promotion as a payday, only spending 90 million, which to say only 90 million is crazy.
Hmm.
But to put into perspective, some players are selling for over 100 million pounds. So,
Yep.
um, really interested to see. I mean, I think these teams do see what Leeds and Sunderland did in two completely different tactics to stay up from last season, but I just don't see more than one team staying up. And there's not a clear team that in the Premier League. Like last season, we knew Wolves were going to be ass, like
Yeah.
generationally
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Really
Um,
bad.
West Ham, they had a tough run in the first half of the season, but were pretty hot in the second half.
Hmm.
Um, Almost inverse for Tottenham, who were okay and then really bad come the new year,
Hmm.
and then did just enough to stay up. So
And
we'll
Burnley
see.
is just the automatic. Like, yeah, it's Burnley. They're gonna
Yeah,
go back
they're
down.
just going to go up and
Yeah.
down perpetually.
Oh, I like it though. I like the
Um,
bold pick. I
yeah,
like
so
it.
we have Coventry
I was too
17.
scared.
I guess just going to 15 for me, I have Sunderland kind of coming back to earth at 16th with Crystal
Yep.
Palace at 15. I think the big thing for Sunderland for me, they finished in the top eight last year because they have European competitions this year, is they just don't have the squad depth, I think, to be playing twice a week in European competitions and the Premier League, where last season they just had to focus on their one Premier League game a week, barring, I guess, awkward scheduling, and then the occasional cup draw for the FA Cup or Carabao Cup. And I think that's really going to test your squad and test a Granit Xhaka who is on the tail end of his career and probably doesn't want to
Mm,
be playing 180 minutes a week. And just, I don't know. I think they caught lightning in a bottle last year, and I think they're going to
yep.
come back to earth this year.
No, I that's a great pick because yeah, they had a terrible second half of the season too. Their form was really bad. They kind of got lucky. They definitely lucked into Europe a little bit. Um, I should know Everton were a game and a half away from finishing seventh.
Yeah.
And then we ended up in 13th. But no, that's I agree with you there. I don't have them quite as low. I have in my 17th, I have Crystal Palace.
Mm,
Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner was kind of their be all end all.
yeah.
A couple of Americans on Crystal Palace, actually, one that was just signed today, in Xavier Gozo, actually he was signed from Real Salt Lake. So he
Mm.
joins Chris Richards on Crystal Palace as the two Americans. They also signed Dwight McNeil in a player swap, which I don't understand that one at all.
Makes
Everton
no
get Brennan
sense to
Johnson,
me.
which is
You,
an upgrade
yeah, you
in
came out
my
like
opinion, and Crystal Palace get Dwight McNeil. So yeah, they just haven't done much to improve. Like they really haven't signed many.
what you're saying. Tomiyasu isn't gonna solve all their issues.
No, I liked Tamahiro
Takahiro,
Taki. Yeah, I like Tamiyasu a lot. I thought he was really unlucky with the injuries that he sustained at Arsenal. I like Mingueza, who they signed from Celta Vigo. I think
yeah.
he's a former Barcelona player.
Jurgen Strand
Um,
Larson,
but
he's
they've lost their two best center backs
yep,
in Mark Gahey in January, and then just lost Maxence Lacroix.
yep,
They
to
lost Brennan
Chelsea.
Johnson. They were not a good individual team before.
Yeah,
It was a system, and then they lost the coach behind the system. And apparently, this new coach, the Frenchman that they got, is pretty good. But at the same time, um, I think any coach that wins trophies in France that isn't PSG, like automatically like they are amazing. And so they just kind of get this job. So new coach, they lost their two best players. They're gonna have a rough time. So I have them in 17th, surviving, but not having fun.
not thriving.
My 16th is Nottingham Forest.
Mm,
Nottingham Forest, I don't like them anyways. If
the
I'm
tricky
completely
tree.
honest. Um, they I come from a team who's chaotic. They take the chaotic crown from us for sure. This team is crazy, and they lost Probably, I mean, they lost their best player again.
Yeah,
They lost their best player for. Don't get me wrong. They made
a
a
brink stroke
boatload of
of
money.
money.
They literally made so much money off of him, Elliot Anderson, and they have not brought in anybody to replace him. So I think that's definitely a little bit tough. And like actually they do. They brought in a guy named Zaver. It's just Zaver. He's Swiss or Austrian or something. Schlager is his
Schleiger,
his
yeah, for
last
on a
name, and
free
I really
from
like him. I think he's a really solid player, but he's not Elliot Anderson. I do really like the center back that they brought in, Usman Diomande, who apparently they're gonna play three at the back, and so their center backs are amazing. So I think that's how they're gonna survive. They have three amazing center backs in Milenkovic, Murillo, and Diomande, and they're just gonna
park
park
the
the
bus.
bus,
Yep.
and they're gonna survive. Essentially, that's just what they're gonna do. They're gonna survive because Chris Wood caught lightning in a bottle 2 seasons ago, and otherwise he's not very good.
Chris
So
Wood, if Chris Wood could.
yes, exactly. So they
I
are
don't
my
know.
16th.
We'll see. I disagree. But we'll get to that later. Nottingham Forest is the most profitable team currently in the Premier League.
Yeah, because he
Correct.
sold one player. But
Yep.
Fulham is my next team. Fulham is my next team in 15th.
Got it.
Yeah, a lot of the same reasons as you for why they're so low. They got the old Real Madrid head coach who was just interim, but he just feels like he spent a lot of money on unproven players
Yeah.
with Gonzalo Garcia and Cesar Palacios, and they lost. I mean, they haven't really lost anybody either. It just kind of steadied the ship a little bit. Yeah, they lost Raul Jimenez and Sasa Lukic, um, but yeah, they had a rough season last year too. They weren't looking great, and especially for a coach who had kind of steadied the ship. Marco Silva came in and done a good job. So now a fairly unproven manager, like he's been an assistant coach for a while. So I feel like they just said, "Oh, you're from Real Madrid. You're going to be good."
Yep.
We'll see. So
Yeah.
don't have a lot of faith. I think they could be worse. I definitely think I could absolutely seeing them
It's
getting
very boom
relegated.
bust, I think.
Yeah. So sorry, any Panthers fans and Fulham fans, anyone who likes Khan, the owner.
Oh yes. Jaguars.
Oh yes, sorry, Jaguars. When I knew it was one of those
um
East Coast teams.
yeah, I guess going back to Crystal Palace and Everton for I guess fans who don't track really football outside of the US, player for player exchanges very rarely happen within these teams or within really any competition. It's usually, I want to buy your player for this much money. So to see Everton and Crystal Palace make a player for player swap, which still trying to connect the dots as to what what Crystal
Mm-hmm.
Palace was thinking here. Seems like a win-win for Everton. You get a younger player who has just had a bad season. Crystal Palace are accepting a loss on him because they bought him just one window ago. They bought him in this winter of 26 or 25. No, 26 in Brendan Johnson. So
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to
Yeah,
say that out there. It's very rare to
the
see.
upside is so high. I feel like for us, like why,
Yes.
like Dwight McNeil is a player he's going to be forever. Like he's
Well,
not going to change.
wasn't
And Brendan John
Crystal Palace tried to buy Dwight McNeil at the close of
in
last window.
January, yeah, in January, and I'm not sure what happened. Apparently, Crystal Palace just didn't file the paperwork properly.
Yeah.
Like they didn't file it on time. Like he was in London. Like he was like
Yeah,
he'd
because his
taken the
wife
pictures.
posted like some snarky
Yeah.
stuff about it.
He yeah, so he signed the contract. He posted like he was pictured in the kit, everything. And they just didn't file the paperwork on time. And I think they tried to like appeal and the Premier League said no. So yeah. But then McNeil went on to play like most of our games in the second half. I don't get
Yeah.
it. Whatever.
Who knows? But just wanted to throw that out there to let those people know who don't track these that like that is very rare to see two clubs and two players agree with. Okay, I'll go to this team and we'll just do a player for player
Mm-hmm.
swap.
Yep.
Yeah. So with
So
that, moving on.
14 through 10.
Yeah, 14 through 10. I just in order, I'll just lay them out and then I'll kind of give a little bit on each. I have Newcastle, Everton, Bournemouth,
Oh,
Brentford, Leeds. Newcastle, man, this
oh,
is
you're
a
so
team where it's
rude.
just like I can't, I kept wanting to putting them lower, but they do have talent, but they lost so much this window. They lost Anthony Gordon. They lost Bruno Guimaraes. They lost, what was his name? Sandro Tonali.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
They've been demolished.
Kieran Trippier, I don't know how much he was playing, but they lost him on a free to Wolves. They've brought in a lot of players, but none that I know specifically well. Maybe that's just on me for being silly,
A lot of
but also,
unproven. Like the
yeah,
oldest is 24.
yeah, a lot of unproven talent, but also to see Eddie Howe leave after they got drumminged by Bristol City in a friendly in late July, to lose your head coach a month before the season starts. And now it's to what, Matthias Jossel?
You're the German.
Yeah, yeah, he's German.
Yeah.
Sure. To see them just again not have a great preseason, losing to Everton in again, it's preseason. Take it with a grain of salt.
3-1 to Everton or three
But
nothing.
they just, I mean, they have Wesa, they have Voltamade, they have Alanga, so they have names in their attack, but it's just, I just don't see it clicking.
I like it.
They have Joe Linton, but he's injured, so they still have names. I don't trust Nick Pope in the goal. Um, they've been connected to every goalkeeper known to man, James Trafford, Zion Suzuki, you name it. They've lost on all of those. So I just don't know how that's going to connect the dots. That's Newcastle. Everton, I think this is not just to throw mud in your face. Um, I think the David Moyes era is coming to an end, and
Yeah,
this
you're not
position
wrong.
is factoring in some growing pains from a sacking at some
One
point.
and a half games away from finishing seventh
Yeah,
last season.
and they're coming back to earth. Once
Yeah.
again, Everton aren't playing in Europe; they're just playing in a traditional Premier League campaign. Um, I mean, Barry looks like the guy. I'm
Yeah.
really excited to see him. Who was the other player I saw in the Newcastle match? Who was a young guy who scored?
Tyreek George
Yes,
from
Tyreek
we
George.
we we bought him from Chelsea. Yeah, he's gonna be pretty slick. Yeah.
Yeah, so I could see some breakouts there. But I mean, how long can Mikolenko and
Oh, so yeah, he's
Tarkovsky
he's he's bad. Yeah.
and the back line? I mean, Everton don't ever sign right backs, so we'll see if they
Stop.
ever
Don't.
sign one.
Right back gives Everton fans PTSD.
Yeah, you have Jake O'Brien, I guess. You
Yeah, he's
know,
a 6'4" right back, and we have Nathan Patterson, who's an international right back who can't find. I think he must have like crashed David Moyes' car or something because David Moyes has just shunned him into
yeah.
oblivion.
I mean, Michael Keane is still there, so
Please
there's
don't.
something. And I mean, Pickford's still obviously England's number one, but he's 32, going on 33, or oh, he's born a day before us. That's cool. Um, but I don't know. I just don't see things going. It's gonna be a cruise
Rude.
into 13th. It's not gonna be. There's gonna be no sweatiness, but there's also going to be not. It's just going to be a classic Everton season where
Mm.
they kind of cruise through. Same with Bournemouth. I don't have much to say about the Cherries. If you're a fan of the Golden Knights, they're owned by the same people. They do have Tyler Adams from the U.S. men's national team on the team, but besides that, I don't really track Bournemouth. They're just kind of them and Brentford both are just kind of they're
They're
in the
one
middle of
in
the
they're one
table.
in the same.
Yeah, throw in the middle of the table to just kind of fill up dead space. Brentford, though, every year is it Brentford's year to lay an egg? I don't think it's this year. I think they're kind of on the up and up, if anything. Um, then getting to my team, unbiased as all get out. But if I'm being honest with myself, Leeds could finish as low as 17th. I don't see them getting demoted
No,
or in the relegation fight, but I could see them finishing maybe. I don't want to say Europe, but
I
um,
think if
on the back half,
DC, yeah,
what
if
I saw
DCL gets
something.
hurt, if
Oh yeah,
DCL gets hurt,
DCL
you
gets
guys
hurt.
are you guys are in
Yeah, we got a
trouble.
bubble wrap Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which we did last season. But I think I saw a stat. It was trying to pump Michael Carrick's tires of like the since Michael Carrick took over at Man United, who had the most points, and it was Man United one. I want to say it was West Ham two, and I think it was Leeds three.
Hmm.
For once Carrick took over to the end of the season, who had the most
Yeah,
points.
You guys did
And
great. Yeah.
Leeds is they win at home and they draw away for the most part,
Perfect.
unless they play Arsenal or City.
If you play the big
Um,
six, you will get thumped.
yeah, we Man United is like this. They're scum to the Leeds faithful. So really, as long as we beat Man United at least once a season, I'm very happy. Last year we took 4 out of 6 points, so I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but Leeds has not lost a bunch. They've solved all of their holes, I think, from last season, and having a consistent goalkeeper in the future of the England national team with James Trafford for
Nah.
40 million pounds. Still a lot of money, but I think for a 23-year-old goalkeeper who is as talented as he is and has as many, I guess, goalkeeping accolades as he does across League One and the Championship and the Premier League, he will be so solid. We've brought in
Yeah,
a good
he's
amount
gonna be
of
so good. He is amazing. Like I'm just because Pickford's the England goalie, like I'm gonna not love him, but even in preseason, a few passes that he made, I'm like, oh no, he's
yeah.
really good.
Having a goalie now after one preseason game with him playing of a goalie who's confident with the ball at their feet is just like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah, it's
Because
scary.
yeah, so Trafford, we brought in Tarek Marjanovic. I don't know how to fully pronounce. I'm still working on that one.
Muharemovic,
Muharemovic, who
the man,
famously
yeah.
was the person, as Kyle pointed out in our pre-recording, is the person who not Haji, right? Balogun, flat tired in the infamous red card in the
Flat
World Cup.
tired.
Uh, I guess, yeah, cleated is maybe the better term, but just a towering. Leeds love to sign tall people, and Tarek met that quota, along with bringing Harry Wilson in on a free transfer. He's on insane wages, but he
He's
provided the
worth it. He's gonna be
yes.
good.
He's a Welsh player. The Leeds team is very Welsh heavy with Ethan Ampadu and Joe Roden, and now Harry Wilson,
Wilson.
along with I want to say, oh well, he's no longer with us. The goalie who now went to the Scum.
Darlow?
Yeah, Carl Darlow is the
Mm.
other Welshman. So Leeds at 10. Kyle, what about you? What
Where
about
did you jettison Jack Harrison?
MLS?
Nice. There you go.
New England Revolution.
Nice. Be gone,
Yep,
Jack
yep. Be
Harrison.
gone, foul beast.
My 14 is Newcastle. So yeah, a lot of the same reason they have been absolutely demolished. They lost all of their best players. I mean, they've lost their entire midfield, which is Tonali and Bruno, and that's just. I mean, I don't know how you rebound from that
Yeah,
because they weren't a good team last year. They struggled a lot, and it was not Eddie Howe's fault. I loved Eddie Howe when we fired. Um, Gosh, it was the Everton have gone through so many managers. When we fired um,
spaghetti.
Baldy, no, Baldy, not the what do they call the fat Spanish waiter is what we called him.
Mm-hmm.
But no, when we Sean Deitch, when we fired before we even
Dude,
hired
Sean
Sean Deitch,
Dyche.
we were linked with Eddie Howe, and that was I'm like, please sign Eddie Howe, please go get Eddie Howe, and then we got Sean Deitch. So that kind of backfired. But who knows? Maybe when David Moyes
Yeah, Eddie
retires,
Howe is
when he walks away, not
yeah.
fired, we're not going to fire him. When he walks
Oh,
away gracefully into
the
retirement,
sunset.
yes, into the
Come
sunset.
December or maybe January when you're
Yes,
maybe
if we went and
18.
got Eddie Howe, I'd be extremely happy. But no, I do have Newcastle again. They Tenali for 80 million, Bruno for 70 million, Anthony Gordon for 65 million. That's three of
That's your
their
core.
best five players, four or
Yeah.
five players, and they've replaced them with unproven talent, good talent that allegedly are going to be half decent. Traore and Amar Didic and Lucas Hornacek, who apparently is going to take Nick Pope's job, this like 20-year-old Czech goalkeeper. Um, but yeah, Newcastle are going to struggle under a new coach who couldn't have happened to nicer owners having their team ripped apart. Oh no. Sorry, Saudi Arabia. And then they go and get a coach from Saudi Arabia, the German who's been there for 3 years. So unproven head coach who's been coaching in an uncompetitive league. where everything is set up in his favor. So that doesn't bring me a whole lot of. Yeah, I mean, sure. Apparently, he's young and aspirational. I'm like, is he that aspirational if he goes to Saudi? So yeah, no, I think he's there for a paycheck, collects some money, and goes on his merry way back to Saudi or back to Germany, where,
Or Turkey now.
in all honesty, I don't know if the Germans would want him back because they're
Yeah.
going to say, no, I don't want your blood money.
Yeah.
um,
Turkey's the new Saudi this
yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Side note, but
So
13.
Newcastle, yes, in 14. In 13, I do have, sorry, let me pull back up. I have Sunderland. Again, a lot of the same reasons that you had. I think they I think I have them a little high. I really do. I think I have them a little high. They did have a really, really good first part of the season. Um, and then they struggled in the second half. And now they have to play twice a week. So I think they are gonna struggle a little bit. And I think probably the biggest thing you can say about them is they've kept their core. They haven't really sold many people, which is important. And they haven't really brought anyone in. They got a Dingra, I think Simon Adingra, who had been um, out on loan, who I think he's going to be good. They signed him from Brighton for quite a bit of money, and I think getting him back and integrating him back into the team is important. But they're going to be in 13th for me. I have a soft spot for Sunderland. After Sunderland Until I Die, I loved that was like that was one of the best documentaries I've ever watched. I loved it a
Mm.
lot. Brentford
Yeah,
in
both the
12th.
Newcastle teams right next to each other.
I do, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love when they fight. I think that I don't know. Jordy's fighting is funny.
Yeah.
Um, so I do have Brentford now in 12th. Um, where'd it go? There we go. So yeah, I have Brentford in 12th. It's just how long, not luck, but how long can they just keep overperforming over their, I guess, kind of inherent? Because you look at their team and there's not a whole lot of like superstars. They just kind of have a really solid core, and I think that eventually teams are just going to figure them out. I do really like their coach. Obviously, most people had them going down last year. I obviously don't think that's going to happen, but I think teams are just going to start to whittle away at them, kind of like when Bournemouth first went down, like because when they first came up in the Premier League, they hung around for 3 or 4 years, and then they got relegated and were in the Championship for 2 years, and now they've come back and they're pretty steady. I think that might happen to Brentford. It's just how sustainable is their system. So, um, I just think teams might start to figure them out. But again, this is still a good mid-table season. I don't think any Brentford fan will complain about finishing 12th.
No,
Bournemouth in 11th. Bournemouth
backwards.
in 11th. Kind of similar reasons to Brentford, in all honesty. They are just kind of keeping things nice and steady. They haven't really bought anyone to splash the cash. I know this new center back that they signed, Antonio Silva, is supposed to be pretty good, and they haven't really sold anyone overly important with Sinistera going to Brazil, apparently. Yeah,
Wow. I
yeah.
miss Sinistera.
Luis Sinisterra was sold to a team in Brazil. Hamed
Love that.
Traore sold to a team in France. So yeah, they haven't really. I think Marco Senesi is the biggest one. Marco Senesi, free transfer to Tottenham, but he wasn't really starting much, so it's not a huge miss. I have a soft spot for Brentford just purely due to Tyler Adams. Um, so yeah,
Bournemouth.
uh, yeah. Yeah, that's I'm on Bournemouth.
You said Brentford, sorry.
Oh, sorry. So I'm on Bournemouth. Yeah, sorry. So I'm on Bournemouth, and I have them in 11th.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I guess
No,
I skipped
you
right
just said
into
you have
it.
a soft spot for Brentford, not
Oh,
Bournemouth.
sorry.
You're
No,
good.
I have a soft spot just purely for Tyler
Bournemouth
Adams.
due to
Yep.
Tyler Adams.
Yep, due to Tyler Adams because he's hilarious. The most polite person off the pitch and an absolute freaking animal on the
Yeah,
pitch. I love
just
it.
a freak. Number
Yep.
10.
And number 10, I have Brighton.
Ooh.
Brighton. Um, kind of very this little group. I feel like I grouped these three teams that in my head. They kind of are so similar to each other, where they have this kind of like scrappy team overperforming. These are not big clubs. They are in the grand scheme of like English teams that are big. English fans don't have the same concept. A big club is not success, and big don't mean the same thing. Big and successful are very different. And Brighton is successful, but they're not a big club. So I think like slowly but surely I feel like these clubs will start to get found out. But again, this is another mid-table finish. They signed this 19-year-old wonder kid center back from Tottenham, Luka Vuskovic, in order to replace Jan Paul Van Hecke, who went the other way. Essentially, they did the swap that Everton and Crystal Palace did. Only this is two much better players in
Yeah.
Luka Vuskovic and Jan Paul Van Hecke. But again, they sold a few players. That being Jan Paul Van Hecke, and then like Danny Welbeck went to Chelsea, which is
Yeah.
super random for a 35-year-old striker. And they've brought in Vuskovic, then they brought in Pascal
Pascal
Stroik.
Stroke
Yeah. Other
lost
than that, they
lost
haven't done
him.
too much. Like they've kind of steadied the ship. There's one player that I really like in Brighton that I hope he kind of kicks on, and that is his name's Evan Ferguson. He's a Irish striker who
Hmm.
has found himself at the bad end of multiple injuries. So I hope he just kind of bounces back. But that's my 10.
Real talk. You're already paying for insurance. Question is, are you overpaying? KJO Insurance covers Idaho and the Pacific Northwest, and they'll shop around to get you the best coverage for less. As you can see on their website, they have plenty of options for coverage. So please DM at KJO Insurance on Instagram with keyword pitchside or call 208 833 4800 and tell them Elias and Kyle sent you. Now back to today's episode. So for me, it's 9 Nottingham Forest for me. Because I think that's our
Interesting.
biggest difference. I don't know what it is with the trees. I think I think Igor Jesus will have a breakout year this year.
Oh, see, I see
Um,
him just tanking.
really.
Mm-hmm.
After Morgan Gibbs White, I think could come back
Oh,
to
yeah.
save them
He's great.
after the up and down season. But I don't know. It just felt right having Forest at 9. Uh, 8 is Tottenham. As much as I hate that they're in the Premier League, I would have loved for them to get relegated. I think just last season was just how many injuries are too many injuries, and Tottenham was an example of what it looks like when you're just absolutely gutted. They're gonna have Xavi Simons back. They're gonna have Dominic Solanke back. They're gonna have James Madison at full strength, Conor Gallagher at full strength, on top of the players that they added in a Van Hecke, in a oh my gosh, Matias Fernandez, in a Tonali, Anthony Robinson on a free from Liverpool. They've brought in some great talent, so I think it's going to be um, rewriting the wrongs that were last year and kind of bringing Tottenham back to after back-to-back 17ths, which is crazy to say. Where the first 17th 2 years ago was like they're 20 points clear of relegation.
Mm.
Last season they were just a few points clear. So Tottenham 8, Brighton 7 for similar reasons to Kyle. Just I think they're going to finish a little higher as they do have a former Leeds player on their team in Jorginho Ruter. I think he's bound to have a great season as he's just
Yeah,
such a young
he's
player.
good. Yeah, he's good.
Matoma's always lethal. They just signed Promise David from Canada or a Canadian team. He's a Canadian national player. Pascal Stroke is an amazing center back who is from Leeds United. Got them on a pretty good deal just due to him being on the
And
last
end
year
of
of his
his
contract.
contract. Yeah.
Yeah. Facundo Buonanotte is also someone who could, if he sees playing time, could be something. It's
Yeah.
been teased
Really
that
high
he's gonna.
ceiling. Really
Yeah,
high ceiling.
but he played one match for Leeds and I think a cup game, and it was the stinkiest game you could ever imagine, and he did not see the field the rest of
Oh
the
no.
season.
Oh no.
So Brighton 7, Man United very biasedly 6. Just I hate them with all my guts. There's just nothing good to say about them. They are a good team, but I hope that they fall apart. They what haven't brought in a bunch of great names. Andri Santos, Yuri Tielemans. I guess that's a big name.
That's yeah, he's good.
Besides that, not any big names coming in the door. I mean, they have Marcus Rashford back from loan, but who knows if they can get him gone. Jadon Sancho's back from goal. Again, who knows if he stays. Rasmus Hoyland is back. Again, who knows if he's gone.
I think he's gone.
Yes, Jadon Sancho is gone on a transfer. Casemiro gone.
Aston Villa. Yeah, Aston Villa.
Oh
I
wow,
think
I didn't know Casemiro joined Inter Miami.
Inter Miami. Yep.
That's crazy. Hoyland is going back to Napoli, so look at
For a
Elias
good
doing his
fee.
homework.
For a good
Yeah,
fee, I
44
think.
million. So, yeah, just nothing else to say about them. They can go burn, and I hope Leeds beat them. And fifth, a team that I feel like no one remembers they exist, but they always are in the top 5 to 7, is the pride of Birmingham, Aston Villa.
hmm
They lost Morgan Rogers to Chelsea, but they still, at the moment of recording, have Ollie Watkins. There's teasers that he's going to Saudi potentially,
Oh no, that'd be
or
so
at
sad.
least Saudi is trying to pry him, pull a Crescencio Somerville and turn a player into like an $80 million player who's not that. My only concern is they brought in Garnacho from United, who I hated Garnacho before he was a United player. It was amplified when he was a United player.
hmm
So we'll see. They did just again sign Zion Suzuki, who I loved and was a player that
Yeah.
Leeds rated very
He
highly.
can he
So
can be an understudy for Martinez for like 2 seasons, and then he
yeah,
can just slide right in.
they brought
That's a great signing. I like it.
probably wonder kid of the World Cup and Johan Manzambi for
Yeah,
Switzerland.
he looks good.
So they've definitely brought in some younger talent, which more, I guess, what's rooted Premier League teams can spend more on these wonder kids and younger talents and bring them in, since they already have the roster to do so.
hmm
I guess I'll just wrap up my top five and then you can rattle off your five.
Cool.
I have Liverpool 4, Chelsea 3, City 2, Arsenal 1. I just don't see. I see Arsenal repeating. They haven't really lost too much from last season. I mean, they
Yeah.
lost Trossard to Turkey. I
Oh
mean,
no.
besides that, nothing massive leaving the door. When City loses Rodri and just lost Pep altogether,
hmm
I think they're going to be in for a world of hurt with the growing pains of a new manager after losing such a talented manager in Pep Guardiola. Chelsea at 3, they're just always competing. I think Cole Palmer had an off year. He's going to right the ship and get back on scoring ways. Bring in Morgan Rogers is an amazing talent. Sanchez is going to have a better year behind the net or between the sticks, either or. So I could see Chelsea competing for the league, and Liverpool for bringing in or kicking out Arnie Slot and bringing in, is it Unai Emery?
No,
Out
Andoni Iraola, the
that
Bournemouth
too.
manager.
Bournemouth. Bringing him in definitely change the scenery and a new talent, but you'll have Isak back. You'll have Ekatike, hopefully being able to play together. I mean, you still have Florian Wirtz. You still have Dominic Szoboszlai. Cody Gakpo, I mean, Cody Gakpo is probably out the door, but
hmm
you have amazing names. You have internationals, starting internationals at every position. You have potentially one of the best goalkeepers in the league, barring Arsenal's goalkeeper. What's his name?
David Raya.
Yeah, David Raya in Allison, who is the Brazilian starter. So I don't see them finishing lower than fourth. I could see Chelsea, City, Liverpool, 2, 3, 4 finishing in any order, but I think it's Arsenal's table to lose. So,
Mm, that's fair.
Kyle, what does your 9 through 1 look
My
like?
nine leads.
Ooh, I appreciate
Leads.
it.
Yeah,
Come
number
on.
nine, because of Harry Wilson. Yeah, I think Harry Wilson's great. I know Everton were really looking at him, and apparently we just don't like spending money.
Nope.
So no,
Well,
really
don't like paying
disappointed.
players, I guess, because he would have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
free.
yeah. Yeah, I think James Trafford is an incredible signing. I think if he was in your net last season, you guys would have finished. I mean, you finished 12th. That probably might have pushed you into the top 10 already.
Yeah.
Again, wrap Dominic Calvert-Lewin in bubble wrap and hope he survives the season, because I think that there's your trouble. If he gets injured, you guys will feel the hurt a little bit. But in eighth, I do have Everton. So I have both of us in the top 10, and I have both of us, right at the bottom end. But again, I think I think probably the biggest thing for Everton is I get it. We haven't like made the big splash that we really need, especially a right back. But we haven't really lost anyone too crazy. Like I think we've lost Dwight McNeil. Okay, darn. And Seamus Coleman. Were the two
Oh
guys kind of out the
no.
door. Seamus, who's 85 years old. Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish. I know people are really wanting to bring him back in, but Jack Grealish is almost 32 years old. City still want like 50 million for him. I would love if he came back. I just don't think he's worth the money, unfortunately, especially given that we've signed a bunch of wingers. Like we brought in Brennan Johnson, we brought in Tyreek George, and we have Illiman and Jai. We have Tyler Dibbling. Where's he gonna play?
Yeah.
Um, and I think really this team has three weaknesses, and that is striker. Like I love that you love Barry. Barry looks better in this preseason. Um, and right back and left back. Mikolenko is nothing special, and we have no one to push him except for this 20-year-old kid that we bought from Bayern Munich named Adam Asnew, who I think played less than 10 minutes of Premier League football last season. And then we have Jake O'Brien at right back or Nathan Patterson, and Moyes doesn't like either of them. So those are our problems.
But we're not
I
buying a new one.
No, but we have phenomenal midfielders. I think the double pivot of James Garner and Hayden Hackney. Like I think Hayden Hackney, for his money, might be the best signing. Like for bang for your buck, he was 25 million, and
Oh
he
no.
bang for your buck. I think he's going to be the
Ethan
best.
Ampadu, we bought for 5 million, and
I mean,
he's.
this season.
Oh, sorry. Okay, okay. I
I
hear you.
mean,
I hear
this
you. Sorry,
season.
sorry,
Come
sorry.
on, man. No, no. So I love Hayden Hackney. That's a great signing. My seventh is Liverpool.
Wow.
Uh Reason being, they have no one to back up Virgil van Dijk. If Virgil van Dijk gets hurt, they are beyond hose because they already lost Ibrahim Konate. It's going to be like, I forget when they finished eighth a couple of years ago, and it was when they lost both their starting center backs, and their two starting center backs were like Nat Phillips, who was from the youth team, and he was terrible, and Ozan Kabak, who was like on loan from Schalke, and they were
Of
and
course.
so I think they're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. And they still don't have a replacement for Mo Salah. I get that Mo Salah wasn't at his best last season, but they have zero backup for him. I think Andoni Iraola is really 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 exciting, but he can't play center back. so
You're not
so
wrong.
that's their problem. In six, I've Aston Villa. Again, they haven't gotten the full Newcastle treatment, but they did lose Morgan Rogers, obviously, who went to Chelsea, which is a big miss for them. To replace him, they brought in Mount Zombie, who there's always those players where you sign them after a World Cup and it's like, oh, that was a mistake. Everton did that a few years ago with a player named Mohamed Besic, who played for Bosnia, and I guess he had a great World Cup in like 20 whatever, what year was that,
22.
2018? Yeah,
Oh,
20
18.
no, it was 2018, and then he was terrible. Monzambi I think is a little bit better pedigree, but hopefully I like Gomez, who they signed, Gomes, whatever, Zion Suzuki. Those are all really excited. But they did lose Morgan Rogers, they lost Yuri Tielemans, and today, just today, they lost Ezri Konsa. Ezri Konsa
Hmm.
went to Arsenal today, which is massive, and that
Yeah.
kind of that I would have had Aston Villa if they didn't lose Ezri Konsa today. I think they would have had them in the top four.
Wow.
Um, and then
And potentially Ollie Watkins going away. Who knows? I
yeah,
think I just read
that would
something
be
there.
crazy.
Yeah.
In fifth, I have Manchester United. You had them in sixth.
Yeah.
I have them down in fifth for one of the probably the biggest reasons is that when I actually look at their starting like back line, like actually really like slow down and be like, okay, I'm gonna look at this for what it really is. Well, how good is this? It's not. The back line of Luke Shaw is always injured, and the backup that they have for him, Dorgu, isn't a left back. He's a winger who just happens to be left footed. So like, oh yeah, you can play left back. Harry Maguire's fine. But Lissandro Martinez is not. I really don't like Lissandro Martinez, the butcher of Amsterdam. They call him whatever his name
Hmm.
is, the 5'9" center back. I just don't think he's very good. He's too injury prone. Diogo Dallo, same thing. He's just not like that. Is not a Manchester United back line. And I think the last time, I literally think this back line of Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, uh, Lissandro Martinez, and Diogo Dallo was their back line starting like 5 years ago, and they were terrible.
Yeah.
Like I was so. Why is it any better now? All these guys are just older, and it's that's why I think they're going to have a really tough time. I love Michael Carrick. If Manchester United does Manchester United things and gets rid of him, please come to Everton because I would take you in a heartbeat. I think that would be amazing. I really Tielemans is a steal for 30 million. That's insane that they got that deal. But now it's like, okay, I feel like they have a selection problem where now they're going to make one of their star midfielders mad. So that
Yeah.
is their problem.
Yeah, I think
Moving. Oh,
Kobe
sorry.
Mainu is a talent that needs to see the pitch, but they
Mm-hmm.
have just such a congested midfield with
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandez is never giving out.
Yeah. Mason Mount,
Yeah,
um, always hurt, but yeah, Kobe Mainu, Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandez. Uh, now you have Tielemans in the mix. You have Andre Santos in the mix now. So
Dorgu, you got a bunch of
yeah,
options,
yeah, exactly. A lot of options.
and
So
same
I
with the
have,
forwards. I think that's
mm-hmm.
clogged up as well. But I'll
Yep.
let you continue.
Cunha and Rashford and
Sesko,
yeah, Cisco exactly. So
Mbuemo, and Rashford.
it's a good problem. But I think the back line is that is the problem, in
Yeah,
my opinion. My fourth place is Tottenham. My fourth place is Tottenham. I think it's going to be. I love De Zerbi. I love that he's just chaotic enough, but like not like overly chaotic. I feel like he's funny. He's kind of a yeah, he's just a funny guy. So I really do like De Zerbi. He seems super talented. I love Sandro Tonali. That's an incredible signing. I love Jan Paul Van Hecke. That's an incredible signing. Mateus Fernandez from West Ham is great. Robertson, great. Senesi, I mean, all of these signings have just been phenomenal. And it's a bummer that they sold Vuskovic. I thought that was a mistake. Good. Get rid of Christian Romero, jettison him into the sun. That's fine.
Jed
Jed
Spence.
Spence, a
Yeah,
little bit of a bummer. I did like Jed Spence. I just think that they have Udogi's a good left back, and at right back they have Pedro Porro. I just don't think it, Jed Spence didn't fit the De Zerbi system, and those two guys did. So he was a
yeah,
good. They made good money on him, 40 million.
yeah.
I think
The
Everton were looking at him, and we were not paying 40 million. So
Jed Spence, the famous Leeds loanee who got sent home in January because of
yeah,
effort.
yeah. You good? That was funny. I'm like, I remember messaging you. I'm like, oh, Jed Spence is so good, and
And
then he
he
like
did
never
not
saw the
do.
field
Yeah,
like at all.
I'm
Uh,
interested to see in this lineup where Archie Gray again, former Leeds player. I tracked them pretty hard.
mm-hmm.
He played a lot under what was the Australian's name?
And
Yes, Ange Postacoglu. Didn't play a bunch under in this last season, or he did play just out of position. He played everywhere. He was their Swiss Army
mm-hmm.
knife of, oh, you can be a center back. Oh, you could be an attacking midfielder, defensive midfielder. Um,
I think he plays a lot.
yeah, he did. I think under Zerbi, he did not play a bunch in those tail ends. Which do you want a
Yeah,
20-year-old unproven talent trying to save a team
I
from relegation?
I
Maybe you
think he
do.
plays in like a double pivot with Tenali. I think it's Tenali and Gray like playing together
Yeah,
with I think it's gonna be who yeah, Xavi Simmons probably starting in front of him. But no, it's
yeah,
it's exciting. I think he plays a lot. That would be fun. Chelsea in third. I think you had them
yep.
in third as well. That comes down to their new manager, in my opinion, Sabi Alonso, who is absolutely incredible. So that's really exciting for them. And I think they're just gonna. I think Morgan Rogers is a phenomenal signing. So he's gonna play with Cole Palmer. Apparently, they're best friends. They both were in the City Academy. They signed Maxence Lacroix, which I think solves a lot of their problems. So I think he's gonna play next to Levi Colwill, and that does solve a lot of their problems. I think personally with their back line, and then they have a great right back. I think I don't really know if they have a left back anymore because they sold Cucurella. So maybe that is kind of a hole in their lineup. but now I never have to hear that dang Cucurella like yeah,
Cucurella.
exactly.
Estrella.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Paella.
That is my proud like sleep paralysis demon
Yeah,
is
that's
Cucurella and
hmm
that dang thing. No, I think they're a really solid team with a coach who finally has his head on straight. And I mean, I don't think Danny Welbeck is going to solve their goal scoring problems, but I think Joe Pedro will, who they already have. So
and Nicholas Jackson.
yeah, I don't think he's going to solve those problems either.
Liam Delap. Come on.
No, he's going to Everton, so probably not. Apparently
Ooh.
he's linked with us, so we'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
Number two is Manchester City
Yep.
because of Erling Haaland, and he's the giant Scandinavian robot. And Rodri is a big miss, obviously, but bringing in Elliot Anderson is huge. Other than that, they haven't like been super like busy.
Yeah.
They sold Tijani Reinders apparently today to Saudi, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Casually sold him for more than Rodri.
yeah, yeah, not that's not that doesn't look sketchy at all.
Lost
Yeah,
John
that
Stones.
yeah,
Nathan
and to
Ake.
Inter. I mean, yeah, but these guys have just kind of been like kind of bit part pieces recently. I think obviously really the only big one is Rodri. And Bernardo Silva.
Yeah. On
Bernardo
a
Silva is a
free.
big one.
What, Calvin Phillips
Um
isn't going to be missed?
New. Yeah. Um but no, as long as they have Erling Haaland, it's pretty tough to beat them, especially again, they haven't excuse me, they haven't brought in any crazy talent. I don't think to really serve, I guess, Erling Haaland and to get him good crosses and get him the ball in the box. But I think they have those pieces already.
Yep.
And then Arsenal, I think Arsenal are going to cakewalk this with the guys that they just signed,
Yeah.
with Ezri Konsa and obviously Bruno Guimaraes. That's just an
I
incredible
don't know.
incredible signing.
Milan Melier.
Yeah, sure. Of
I
course.
saw he was previously the starting goalkeeper for Leeds 2 years ago. Lost the position due to poor effort and poor
Hmm.
performances. They just won the Community Shield, and he posted on his Instagram like he was the starting goalie for that
Oh no, that's
first
funny.
medal for the trophy box and all this. And the comments just like, "Buddy, you didn't even suit up."
No, yeah, that is pretty good. I like that. That's funny. So yeah, no, Arsenal are gonna cakewalk this league. Again, they haven't really lost anyone overly important, other than
Christian
obviously
Norgard.
Norgard to Everton. Yeah, yeah, I actually like that. I'm kind of excited to have him there. We'll see how he does. Um, and Trossard, yeah. But otherwise, yeah, bring in Bruno, uh, Zolis, Christos Zolis, who is interesting because I remember him from when he played for Norwich a couple of years ago
Yeah.
in the Premier League, and he did nothing. Like he was like the biggest wonder kid in the world, did absolutely nothing, and then everyone just forgot about him until he went to Belgium and apparently just tore Belgium apart.
Mm.
And so now he's back and he's gonna win a Premier League winner's medal.
Yeah,
So
the when you
that's
have a forward group of Victor Gyökeres, Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus, and Madueke, those
I mean,
are
it's the funny part is that you could sell three of those guys
yeah,
and not
and be
make a
just fine.
dent and not make a dent. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
those are all six starting for their either starting or fringe starting attackers for their national
yep,
team, which
yep.
that to put in perspective is how good of a player it is. On top of Odegaard, Rice, Eze, adding
Mm-hmm.
Guimaraes to the already stacked midfield. Zubamendi, just names off names off names. I mean, William Saliba did get hurt in the World Cup, so we'll be
Mm-hmm.
interested to see how that works along with Timber. But you still have Calafiori, you still have Lewis Skelly, Ben White. You've
Yep.
got depth. So, and that is
Yeah.
the perk of being the best team in England is you can have pretty much two starting lineups still better than Hull City, maybe
Yep.
even
And
three.
they're just reinforcing their status.
Yeah, and Mikel Arteta's um, philosophy of playing very defensive minded, kind of greasy and talky terms of let's just score goofy goals that are bending the rules. Be interested to see if any of the rule changes coming this year will affect Arsenal, but
Oh yeah,
I,
with the potential like
the
grappling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grappling,
Yeah.
all the World Cup rules of subs or faking an injury
Yeah.
requires you being out for at least a minute, so on and so forth. But I think it's
Yep.
Arsenal's. Glad we agree on that.
It is theirs to lose. I think we had a
Yes.
couple that matched. I think Chelsea matched.
Yeah, in Brentford, Bournemouth, we just
Uh,
had flip flopped. Leeds, I was 10, you were 9. I think the biggest sway was Forest with me at 9. I think you at like
and
16.
me, Everton, you had them at what, 13th, and I had them at
Yeah,
8th.
yeah. So
It's
overall,
fine.
it's the fun part of the Premier League is crazy things can happen. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't think Hull City are staying up. I think that's pretty
Nope.
solid. But Ipswich
But
could. There's an argument that
and
Ipswich.
no one saw Sunderland getting
Yeah,
Europe. So I
no.
mean, yeah,
Sunderland was also
those things.
sixth in the championship that year and somehow squeaked their way in. Be it they sold Job and other players for like $170 million
Yeah,
pounds. So they had a lot of money to work with to sign um, their entire
for sure.
midfield, Habib Diarry, and so on and so forth. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
with all that, I know this episode's probably a little longer than you were expecting, but now you know where we
I love
see
these though.
the Premier League fitting. Hope if you've listened to this far, really appreciate it. Let us know maybe where you agree, maybe where you disagree in the comment section below. Look forward to maybe in the off season covering the Premier League every now and then. Just as AC Boise doesn't play when the Premier League's in full swing, come
Hmm.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's. But we really, as
Well,
Kyle
we
mentioned at the
will at
top of this
least
episode,
yeah, yeah,
this is the most wonderful time of the year, and we'll at least keep you all informed here
yeah,
and there.
and we'll at least need to record after Everton and Leeds play.
Oh yes, have a good. Um, we'll have to have some punishments and bets
Oh,
on the line. At least,
oh,
maybe not
yeah.
punishments, but just some um,
I
friendly
like
competition.
I like the undodgeball guys. We can do something like
Time to
that.
play on dodgeball.
Yeah, we'll just do something like that.
Yeah, as long as they're not. I feel like Leeds and Everton played on Mondays both times this last season, so it was
Yep.
hard to be at
Yep.
work at 1 p.m. and have my phone on my desk and be like, "Oh, look, is the match a score? I got a late penalty. Suck it, Kyle. Suck it, Kyle."
Yep.
So we'll get out of here. Really appreciate y'all listening, and we'll catch you all back with the USL schedule as we move forward into the end of the season.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. That's all for today's episode. If you enjoy the show, make sure to like, comment, share with a friend, and make sure you're following the show wherever you listen. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for all updates and future content to come. If you want to help support the pod and get access to exclusive content, early episodes, and bonus perks, head over and check out our Patreon. It truly helps us keep this thing growing. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for being part of the community, and we'll catch you in the next one.